I'll tell you something. Tom Six is an arrogant prick. Come to think of it, a little bit like Mitch. But it's one thing to make a torture porn movie about stitching 3 people together to make one digestive tract. But to make a sequel about a guy who is influenced by the first film to do it in real life, that's way worse than Mitch. But despite that and the fact that there's some pretty terrible acting, there is definitely a visual style in this film. It's almost reminiscent of Hitchcock. That is, if Hitchcock was blinded by an angry bull and forced to only make films with the tip of his nose. And even then, they'd probably look a lot better than this one. But it's safe to say the camera work was pretty bad, and the black and white aspect added nothing to the film. I'd even go as far as to say that it took the audience away from the film itself and the events that were taking place. I mean, who wants to see a lot of, like, just murky grey human feces? I'd much rather see it in full brown glory. I can definitely say I was rooting for the antagonist, because I used to have a neighbour exactly the same, who always used to play his music loud, and all I ever wanted for him to was to turn it down. And I never had the balls to kill him. So good on you, Martin. But all in all, I don't really think this was just a terrible torture porn movie. Take the pregnant woman, for example. The murdering of her own newborn child to escape is clearly symbolising the disdain and fragmentation of the modern youth. Everybody is just trying to get away, but how are we supposed to live when the people that have come before us are just putting us down? Literally. It is far easier just to lay down and die than live in this world. I agree, Tom Six. I agree. Although you really do have a stupid name. Clearly the best part of the film, though, is the human centipede scene. The one which you imagine to be the most horrific and terrifying and just downright disgusting. But it's actually more akin to a children's TV programme. You've got a guy who is jumping around and dancing like a child to the sound of cartoon fart noises, waving his hands with joy. Although granted, you probably wouldn't see 12 people stitched mouth to anus on an episode of SpongeBob. I do have one bone to pick with the film though, and it's to save my own reputation more than anything. Because I too come from a rural town of England, and I too have a really thick accent. But just to be clear, I will not cut out your tongue, I will not snap the tendon in your knee so you can't get away, and I will not definitely staple your mouth to someone's anus. But I cannot confirm anything about the force feeding, because quite frankly, I make a mean Lancashire hot pot. That was my review, guys, and I will probably make a video on Friday about all my turkey stuff I've been doing and everything, because tomorrow I'm climbing a mountain. Yes, a mountain! I don't know why either, but yeah. 12 hours from now I'll be halfway up a mountain. That is terrifying. See you then, guys.